What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Rad Picker channel, where I talk about reselling, my emotions, and the like. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm actually begging you. But you don't have to if you don't like it. Full disclosure on this driving and videoing. I know some people really don't like it. But let me tell you something. Whenever I watch these videos back, it looks like I'm looking at the camera. I glance over like this, but literally it looks like I'm looking at you. I'm looking over at you at my right, going through a school zone, doing the speed limit, very aware, acute. Us ADD people may be a little bit scatterbrained, but we are also extremely hyper sensitive to our surroundings, people, things, motions. Even though I can't remember yesterday, I can remember what was on my yard sale table the other day. So there you have it. So I just thought I'd give that public service announcement so no one would be freaked out, because I've seen that in several other people's videos and posts, people posting about driving. You don't care about other people. I'm here to tell you, if I didn't have this video camera on, I might be eating fast food, driving with my knee. Maybe that makes me a horrible person. And if it does, so be it. But like right now, I'm not looking at you. I looked over at the trees. They're fully bloomed here in the south, the mid-south. So there you have it. Get over it. But anyways, I thought I'd mention that. But anyhow, I just left the post office, and I have a friend at the post office in my, I go to two. I live in a bigger city, but I can drive 15 minutes and be in a small town. And I discussed with my friends, it was my wife's best friend in college, her younger brother. And he asked me where I got my boxes, and I said, Poshmark. He said, man, that's crazy. And he pointed at the wall and he showed me I guess they're 12 or 14 by 6 by 4 by 6. I don't remember what they are. 6 by 8 by 14 probably. Something like that. But anyways, I give Poshmark a hard time. But I make sales nearly daily now that I've, listed on there. And it's not the best margins because, you promote your closet or whatever, but it's still sales, and I'm all for it. I am a volume seller, sort of. And because I sell live, it helps me to just, take the money and run. Whether it's $5 or $30 profit or more, take it and go. So I am going to say, I'm slowly becoming a Poshmark guy, and I've been listing on several marketplaces. I still don't have my Mercari set up. I mean, it's set up, but when I cross list from Vendoo, I fixed this, started a video, had to stop it because I have a dollar store window liquor up here, and with the heat it turned off. I had to stop the video, so I'm reiterating, repeating, and maybe the second time it's better, maybe it's worse. But I'm headed to the dump here to get rid of some stuff. I mentioned donating some items, and man, I'm a people person. I joke a lot, tongue-in-cheek, about people, and I make jokes. Maybe I'm a bully, maybe I'm a closet bully, but I've mentioned before about being in this industry because I like people. Well, selling on Marketplace, the story, it's often a little bit aggravating. But in my yard sale, I've met several folks. Of course, I talk about this channel because my goal is to get monetized, even though I'm not consistent. I don't put out the content. I don't even do the things that are simple because I am a one-man show. I don't have any help whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I have more pulling against me than for me. And I'm not crying, trust me. If I cry, I'll just cry. But I'm just telling the story as it pertains to actual reality. So I don't have time. There's not enough hours in the day. And I was making this video thinking about several things. And I don't write this stuff down. I don't edit. I just let it fly, rip the video, and maybe that's why I'm not monetized already. If you focus, there's several things you can do to get monetized. You can, spend the money, promote, lots of sorts of things. But I've always said I want it organic and I want it to mean something. And maybe that's foolish, but it definitely will pay off, in my humble opinion. And speaking of driving, making videos, now was I unsafe? No, but I was paying attention to what I was saying and missed my turn. So go ahead and leave in the comments how dangerous it is to video and drive. I still don't believe you. But anyways, talking about people and doing this for people, yes, that is part of the equation. I definitely want to make money. That's why I work. That's why any of us work. So I have talked in the past about different things, and I have been involved in drama, some of it my fault, some of it other people's fault, but nonetheless, it all boils down to me. I've said that before. So, meeting new people at yard sales and stuff, I talk about this channel and I kind of lead them to it. So, I just wanted to share how cool it is to meet even local folks, and they'll mention some of these more popular resellers, and I'm like, oh yeah, I met them, or this and that. And I've been accused of using people's names and stuff to build my audience or business, and I guess it's true. But however, I, being a people person, really feel like supporting and helping people, because people do that to me. And that's what I was getting at with meeting new people, is they'll say stuff like, hey, I support you in this, and I'll, this, that, and the other. And I mentioned to somebody at my yard sale the other day about Whatnot, and I was like, look, live selling is a different animal. I get nervous to this day right before I go live. I don't know why, because no one's there to eat you. But my number one advice was just relax. Nobody is going to care if it takes you a second to get something listed if you can't figure it out. But me, being how I am, a little anxiety. I don't think I have anxiety, but that's the only way to explain it. I want to treat people right. I want to do the right thing. So before I go live, I want to have new stuff. So I worry about that a little bit, and so I get nervous. Well, the first live I ever did, well over a year ago, is I was going live and I was petrified. For those of you who don't know, I'm a people person. I can talk to anyone. I don't care, from the streets to the highest class people. I don't care. I don't have that social anxiety of talking to people. But I hate public speaking, so it feels the same. Well, I was petrified. So my advice to these people who talked about doing Whatnot and they were a little nervous was, man, my number one advice from my perspective is just go live. Just do it, and you realize this is no big deal. Now, I'm not going to say you won't be nervous, because I am to this day right before I hit live. I don't know why, but just do it. Do not be afraid. Do not let your fears of you being inadequate or whatever your insecurities are, like myself and the insecurities that I have, stop you from doing something you want to try. That is my advice. And there it is. But pause here, because I got to dump this trash. Okay, I'm back. I was going to video this, but there's too many people around. Speaking of being intimidated, I just left a Shark vacuum, probably works. And what was the other one? It wasn't a Dyson, but definitely could have made money parting them out. But I heard one reseller say, quoting another reseller, profits, not projects. And that's where I'm at. Just making sure I don't have stuff in my death pile that I've got to spend a lot of time on for 30, 40, 50 bucks. I would much rather, and I don't throw it in the container. I leave it for someone else to pick up. And mind you, I was there, a woman pulled up, said, "You don't have a hoe or something in your truck, do you?" And I said, "No, I do have a broom." She said, "Could I borrow it?" And I said, "Absolutely." Handed it to her. She said, "Somebody just left a ladder in the metal bin. That's crazy." And so I said, "Here, I'll help you get it out." So she hooked it with my broom, and I said, "I can get it from here." Perfectly good aluminum step ladder, 6-footer. I was like, "Hey, I'm with you. I would have got that if I saw it." But she said, "My daughter just bought a house. I'm going to give it to her." And I said, "Hey, amen." Gave me my broom back. Hey, people person. So that brings me to this point, and about the drama and peopleness, and I've said things in the past, blah, blah, blah. But I decided on this channel that I've always said I just speak my mind, speak the truth. I never purposefully lie, ever. I don't know if that's necessarily true. That's a little pretentious, but I am not a liar by any stretch of the imagination. And I just wanted to say, talking about building my channel, being a people person, all this stuff ties together, even though I am unpolished and unapologetic for it, that growing my channel, I talk about supporting people. And I saw a post in one of my Facebook groups asking the question, who is your favorite YouTube reseller? And I wrote on there, myself. Is that too pretentious? And I was half joking, but actually half truthful, that if you're going to do anything, believe in yourself. Don't think that you're not good enough, not smart enough, you'll never do it, or you'll never accomplish anything. That comes a little easy for me, not to be pretentious, because I've always either worked for myself or got promoted in positions at jobs or this and that. So I don't have that fear. I have walkaway power. That doesn't mean I have millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars, for that matter, that I can do whatever I want. I mean, I'm not afraid. If I got to start tomorrow and just sweep garages for a living, I don't care to do it. Trim trees, whatever. I'm not afraid of that. So that gives me a little bit of confidence. But I was going to say, and I'm not going to back up from this, the truth of the matter is this. I watch reseller content. Even people that don't necessarily like me for whatever reason. I'm not going that direction. But I did want to shout out the reseller leftovers. I really, really like every Wednesday watching Mike, Joe, and Dan and their just goofiness. Now, they'll joke, about this and that, but we are probably more similar in our mindset of just off-the-cuff stuff and take it for what it's worth. But I wanted to shout them out. I don't know where they were. They're close to getting monetized. They have backing and that sort of thing. But I joked that I wanted to be the thousands. But I'm actually serious. I know that probably won't happen, because if they got to 999, someone else will beat me to the punch. But I like it. So I'm going to shout them out, whether other people like it or not, and go follow them. If you're anything like me, you will enjoy that content. And I say that because, and I'm not going to get into a lot of this, but I am trying to build my platform. Maybe this is selfish of me, but I was kind of hesitant to say this, that, or the other because, like I said, I was accused of using people's names to build, and it's so funny to me. I just think that's bizarre because it is true in a sense. I mean, I'm saying something relatable to somebody else that people know that have more of a following than me, but I also, if I like you, I'm going to do what I can for you. Not that I hold any weight or power, but that's just my mentality. I know there's a benefit because maybe they have followers. They could, whatever number they're at, I have less. That could be a benefit to me. That's definitely true. But it's not the reason at all or my motivation to give somebody a shout out. There are many resellers that I really, really like, and some I just won't say their name because it's not that there's a beef or anything, but I don't want somebody, accusing me again, because that does bother me. Talk about insecurities, that someone would think, oh, you're just doing this. Well, okay. There is a little truth to that, like I just spoke about. But also, I'm not going to stop being me. I'm not going to stop supporting people because someone over here doesn't like it, or this person, or they think in their mind we have some beef or something. It's just like, I'll just say it. And maybe this is not the time or place, but I really don't care. I think a lot of Mike Death Pile Picker. I said it. There I go. Trying to get famous off Mike's name. I was in Florida one time. I was going to go meet him, and my wife looked at me like, are you seriously going to take time out of our vacation? She just didn't get it. It was fine, so I didn't. But we are more alike than we're different. And we are both the kind that would speak our mind. And we've spatted back and forth a little bit, for any of you that know. But the truth is, I don't have any ill feelings, or I just don't do that long term. Now, I am short-tempered. I got the Scottish and Cherokee in me, so I speak my mind, but I also respect people that do the same. And what that means is, hey, we can be mad today, but I'm the kind of guy that, give me 24 hours, calm down or whatever, and I'll look in the mirror, and I feel like he's the same way. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just speaking out of pocket. Maybe, again, I'm just pleading. But anyways, I wanted to say that because I don't want to go back into these conversations about certain things that I've talked about in the past. I really, really don't. But I mentioned in the last video about, not the last video, a couple videos ago, about just clearing the air about certain things. Because like I said, I don't want somebody trying to get me on this platform or dealing with this group because they feel a certain way. And I'm not putting words in their mouth. Trust me, I'm trying to get through this without being, making this a big drama thing, because I tend to attract drama. And again, I've said before, maybe it's me. But I do want to say that because I watch these things and I'm like, it's kind of funny. It's super hard to build in the reselling world today. I get that. I watch people. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of people on TikTok and YouTube, and those days may be kind of gone. Not for everybody. If you're computer savvy, you've got good content. I'm not a fool. There's ways to do it, but it's going to be, I don't know, the 1%, 5%, whatever it is, that actually can do it. And I'm not in that category. I don't have the wherewithal to stick with something, to really spend the time to do the tricks. Now, I would like to do that, and maybe I will do that. I do have, in the next 2 weeks, it will be really interesting because I will be seeing somebody that's really good at that sort of thing, optimizing. If you know, you know. If you don't, I'm just talking gibberish. So I may speak with them about that and help myself out. That's where I am selfish. But I'll see people, they get monetized, this and that. And it's a big deal on Facebook, the groups I'm in, and it's really cool. This is where I'm going. I'm taking the long route, by the way. I see people doing this, and it's a big deal, but the cool part about this group is, shout out Junk Monkey, by the way. May never see this, but maybe you could say it's selfish. They are promoting other people to get their followers. You could certainly say that, and I don't mean that specifically to them. I mean, you could say that about me. It's really neat to see the support, even if it is somewhat selfish, where you're going to gain. That's how it should be. Give and shall be given unto you. I really truthfully believe in that. And if you don't, I was having this conversation in a live that I am just not the type to be jealous of someone else. If somebody else, I've seen people get monetized. And it's funny, some of these people were very friendly to me, and now I never see them. And I'm like, it's really weird to me. It's just like, but I'm not jealous whatsoever. I'm happy for them. I think that's awesome. But I realized that in anything, not just reselling, even construction. I ran a construction company, for those of you that didn't know. And of course, I'm a carpenter. I've got a lot of experience. I'm a very good carpenter. And there's a hierarchy. There definitely is. Like, you're not going to show up on job one and start telling me what to do. Like, you're going to have to prove it. So I get that. In any industry you're in, if you go to a factory, there's going to be a hierarchy. That's why they have positions. And nobody wants somebody they consider beneath them to try to one-up them or try to outshine them or whatever. But I can assure you, my mindset is this. I have certain skills. I lack more skills than I possess. I am going to continue to listen to people who have been there, done that, have the experience, know how to communicate, and can help you, whether they feel the same about you or not. That is an important aspect, and maybe it's because I'm almost 50, I've finally realized, grown up maybe a little bit, that if you'll shut your mouth and not be so concerned about yourself or your own insecurities, you may learn something. And I joke all the time. I'll read these Facebook posts in my reselling groups or TikTok or something, and in the reselling world, everybody knows everything. And I don't mean that as bad as it probably sounds. But everybody wants to, I've noticed, it's just, and I'm the same exact way, so I'm preaching to the choir. Everyone wants to feel special or to be noticed or to get some sort of affirmation or praise. I'm no different. But it's funny, in the reselling industry, everybody wants to, tell you what to do. At least that's the way I read it. And if you know me, I've got a little bit of pride, and I'm trying to squash that down because, pride comes before a fall and all that stuff. If you're too prideful, now you should have pride in yourself. You should carry yourself with respect, treat people with respect. But I have this problem, which goes against my beliefs, is you disrespect me, I'm treating you with the same energy. Let's go. I double dog dare you. That's not the way you should be, but I have that from my, background, my atmosphere I grew up in, that you're not going to disrespect me. I'm going to tell you how it is. But you should be able to be humble enough, and I talk about that all the time. It bothers me when someone's like, oh, you need to be humble. I'm like, there's two different types of humble. There's the humility of being willing to learn, being wise enough to listen to other people. And then there's this fake humility where people actually want you to just kiss their butt. I'm never doing that. That's where I think it's okay to treat people with the energy they treat you with, not in the sense that you are being overly aggressive or anything like that. But what I mean is, you can distance yourself from people who aren't going to reciprocate the kind of respect that you give them. Perfectly fine. Now, you don't need to be a smart aleck and all that stuff. That's where I tend to fail. I want them to feel it. And I will burn down the same bridge I'm walking in, and I will take the metal and bury it in the dirt. And that's what I'm getting at, is that's not necessarily what you want to do. So I'm getting a little preachy here. Pulled up to the house, got done shipping, got done taking off trash. I'm getting this place cleaned up. I just want to get on here and say those few things. One, about people. Two, about not being afraid to be yourself. And three, supporting people. Forgive easily. Be positive. That's my tagline. And make sure you operate your business, whether it's reselling or any other industry, like you want to be treated. It's the simple golden rule. And don't worry about, you don't have to be a yes man, but you do need to be wise enough to listen, to learn, because none of us knows it all. That's what I'm getting at. None of us have reached the pinnacle of anything other than what our experiences that we've learned from and grown wise to, and implemented those changes that we need to make to go forward. So take it as you will. I didn't mean to get Tony Robbins on you. Again, I just rant what's on my mind, and that was on my mind today. So go check out the Reseller Leftovers podcast. They may never reciprocate. That's okay. That's not why I'm doing this. I just enjoy it, and I think you might too. You may be someone who likes other content more polished. That's not a slam at them or a diss or whatever you want to say. That's just me being honest. And check it out. And shout out to all you who help me in the same regard. You allow me to look in the mirror and to be able to say these sort of things. Whether you like it or not, believe me or not, that's beside the point. I just am the world's most okayest reseller, the world's most real reseller. And I don't mean real in the fact that I'm better. I mean, I just say what I think and I stand by it, and I'm not kissing anybody's butt. So stay positive, stay picking, stay rad, and who knows what I'll talk about next. Love you, mean it.